because we are the best damn show on the internet right now.
Yes, we are.
That's right. All 4 of you who are watching us. But we love all 4 of you very much so, because
we don't even have 4 watching us.
Because those 4 people are people we have to come home to at night.
Well, you're 4 people. My people upstairs don't watch me.
Mine love me more. They support me.
They do love you more. Yeah. And I told her that too.
Oh.
It didn't work out well for me.
I don't know. They're probably not loving me after some of the awful wrestling that they've had to watch the last couple weeks at the house.
And welcome to Powerbomb Weekly, the only weekly wrestling show that comes from my basement in Poulsbo, Washington.
We have a debate on whether or not the house lies in Bremerton or Paulsbo. But unfortunately, I guess the county has decided.
Welcome to Powerbomb Weekly, the only weekly Powerbomb. Welcome to Powerbomb Weekly, the only internet wrestling show that happens from a basement near Keyport, Washington.
Yes.
There we go.
You know what? Just say Seattle, because then everybody...
No,
and it makes us sound bigger.
Yeah, but there's probably people in Seattle sitting in their basement that have as many views as we do.
I have a feeling there's a lot of people in Seattle in their basements right now.
Speaking of which, for those that do listen to us locally and know about the local wrestling program Defy Wrestling just did a deal. They are now featured on Pluto TV. So you can check out some prior Defy events on Pluto TV, where you can see people like Darby Allin, Swerve Scott, a couple of people from Hawaii, Jeff Cobb, and the Bucks showed up once. So
is Pluto a planet again, or is it still?
It's still.
Has it been downgraded to random network?
Yes, it's a dwarf.
So it went from planet to satellite to dwarf planet to network that has Defy Wrestling on it.
Yes,
awesome. Okay.
So welcome to Powerbomb Weekly. We are going to talk about 9 different wrestling shows in the next 3 hours.
We're going to go fast.
This is going to go pretty fast. So, first off, we got to start with Impact Wrestling.
No, we have to start with India. India is the first show, because India aired Tuesday morning.
You're right. Okay. So, Happy Republic Day to India 1 week later.
Yes. I had a whole bunch of stats and things written down to go through that, but as we said, 9 shows. So, India, 1.3 billion people. It's Republic Day. They had an announcer. He was not good. They kept feeding him throughout the show, and he was just like, I'm very happy to be here. That's basically all it was.
He went to the Smile and Nod Byron School of Wrestling.
Yes, he did. Now, this was a show designed to showcase the talent of India, the country, obviously, that we're talking about, and they picked some interesting folk. Match 1, we have Finn Balor versus Gururaj. Gururaj is presented as India's first high flyer.
Yes.
They did no high flying moves in this match at all.
No.
They did some cross bodies and a couple things, and that was about it.
He'd have been better off wrestling AJ later on in the match. But I digress.
Corey says that Finn is one of the best on NXT. My note was that he's the champion, Corey.
He should be the best.
He is the best on NXT, not one of. This was okay. I think the kid was super nervous.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you think?
Oh yeah. There was some spots where they didn't either practice enough or they were just kind of a little looser.
I really think the guys, and this is a big thing, is that, I don't think the guys are getting a chance to obviously work out some stuff. Now, obviously, when we do get to the Rumble and in Raw and other things, we can talk about the other ring that's on the other side of the stadium. I'm assuming, and by the way, I'm going to try and catch that so I don't say the word so much, because I've noticed that it's like a tick, and then I've also noticed that a lot of other people who do consistent public speaking go a lot, so I apologize, and I'm going to try and not you guys to death as much in the future, and maybe start a counter or something, or take a shot at home every time one of us goes, so what happened is and just that's double shot right there. Okay, Finn nails this dude with all of his finishers.
Yep.
That was cool. That was fine. Afterwards, Finn wins. They have a show of respect. I'm going to talk about shows of respect later in the show, so just remember the sign of respect.
Oh, but I want to talk about that. Okay, I'll wait.
Okay.
So Dave Meltzer gave this a 3.25 star match. Dave Meltzer ranked all of these matches.
I gave it 2.
It was a 7.5. It was a 7 minute, 7-second long match. I do want to back up just 1 second. I thought Triple H did a really good job narrating.
Yes.
The beginning.
The voiceover that Hunter did was great, and it made you. It was almost like
he invested in it. He cared.
Yes, he cared. The way he talked about it, the way he built it up, and the thing that's really weird about India. And I was talking to take a shot. I was talking to a friend who has gone over there several times for business, and he's kind of explained it's a weird country where we have this image of this almost third world style country because they show a lot of farmland, a lot of dead barren lands, a lot of rundown buildings, and a lot of these guys are coming from that area, right? But then it also has this massive Mecca city that is huge portions of India with Delhi and New Delhi and other things, right? And then part of the old cities attached to it with Old Delhi, and the way the culture is over there, where it still has a lot of its, caste style systems of where you're born is where you're kind of directed to go. While they can't use it to oppress, essentially, it still does happen. Mm-hmm. So if someone's born into a certain level, they're pretty much going to stay at that certain level. So you have a lot of people in a big, huge area being very crushed in and confined, and we're used to seeing the images of people, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, we're used to seeing that racial stereotype of India, but India is an incredibly dynamic, beautiful land from what I understand. I wish I knew more about it and didn't have the perspective that a lot of people do when they think of other countries. You just have that image in your head of, oh, Russia's just full of winter and cold, right, and Spain is full of this, and India looks like this. And from what I understand, it's a combination of both. So the way that Hunter did this intro was, it made you want to see these kids be successful.
Right. And what my thought was, well, they don't have John Cena to do voiceovers anymore. I guess, Triple H nailed it.
Triple H has got a great voice for it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And I miss John's intro, especially when he would get real ramped up towards the end and throw in the Boston.
Yeah. So we did have one person not make it to the match. She was.
That's right.
He or she?
It was she.
Yeah, she didn't make it to the match. So we'll talk about that during the female match. So your second match you had.
It was an 8-man tag featuring Ricochet, Mysterio,
and two really, really big dudes.
I apologize. Dilshire Shanky and Giant Zangier, I believe, is their names.
Giant is an understatement.
These kids were huge, and these are Kali's boys. These are the ones that he's training. Unfortunately, they kind of work like Kali, which is very slow, not very good.
Yes, the heels of the match, Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler, King Corbin, and Shinsuke Nakamura, which I felt was on the weird side of this, but, not full face turn yet.
Yeah, I mean, this... and the weird thing is that the way the guys were acting, I thought that the two big guys would be on the heel side.
Right.
The big superimposing guys, as opposed to having the little guys and then the two big guys.
He gave Ricochet some stuff to do.
It did. Ricochet looked great, I'm glad they come back to it. Take a shot.
Like he usually does. Dave gave it a 2-star match, 6.5 minutes. It was a 2-star match.
Hey, did you know that King Corbin is a Golden Gloves boxer?
I've never heard that before.
Never heard that before? Oh my lord, because they mention it about 8 times on the show when he shows up. I also gave this a 2. I agreed with Dave on it. It wasn't fine. The big guys worked big guy style, which wasn't bad. The one thing I do want to note is, was it just me, or did it look like, if these are the guys you're presenting, not just these two particular, but the whole roster, shouldn't they have gotten better ring gear? Because these guys were in like black pants with like black electrical tape and black t-shirts.
They were definitely very basic.
Yeah, everything was very basic. And the problem that I'm going to talk about that I have with the show is this kind of felt like a house show where they were trying to figure stuff out and see what things worked.
Very much a house show.
This was very much a house show, guys.
This is the whole purpose of this is to set up NXT India.
Yes. So match 3, we've got AJ versus Jeet Rama.
Now, you know what's interesting about both of them?
What is interesting?
They are both 40 years old.
AJ's older than 40, isn't he?
He might be 41.
I think AJ's like 43.
He's only 41 or 42.
We'll throw that up there in the section here in a minute. But so the interesting thing about this was, and this is where I wanted to talk about it, because in the previous match there was a commercial. This match was and should have been the best match on the show.
43. You're right.
Dang, I'm good. Because
should have been.
This absolutely this was the best match on the show in my opinion. They had a 2.5 minute long commercial break during it.
It was a 9-minute, 13-second match.
Like, this was absolutely ridiculous because I asked him last week when we talked about it, was this an NBC show or was this a network show? And he says, no, I think it's a network show. Why they took a commercial break in the middle of this match, I have no idea, because this dude, Jeet Rama, I saw Kurt Angle in him. Not the same level, but I saw the technical skill that he possesses as a pure wrestler because he is a legitimate world champion wrestler. They showed that in his promo because all these guys got promos before they came out. Like, this dude is a legit style of India wrestling and a champion of it. And this match with AJ was pretty good, except for they cut 2.5 minutes out of it almost. What did you think? I gave this 2.5 stars, and I wrote down, this could have been amazing if not for the minutes of commercial breaks and the fact that I think they put him with the safest person to put him with, but I don't think they put him with the best dance partner. I think it should have been Daniel Bryan.
Yes, I think Daniel Bryan would have been way better suited for him. AJ has lost a step in the last couple of years.
AJ's working WWE style. We see it a lot from a lot of these guys who come in. We've seen it from Daniel Bryan where it's like, okay, I get my 5 moves of doom in, and I know in the match where I put those 5 moves of doom, and that's where I build my match around. Right.
AJ is also relying on almost too much. Dave gave this 1 3/4 stars.
I disagree with Dave entirely.
Right. I attribute it to it's 2 older guys, and I don't know. It just feels, with a few exceptions, as of late. I don't know if I'm just getting wrestling fatigue myself with all the wrestling I watch, but I'm noticing wrestlers fatiguing in the ring. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't seem like, and I really think it could be the lack of an audience, but there seems to be overall a lack of passion in some of the WWE product.
There is.
Not so much like AEW, you can still see some passion because they still have real people there.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a decent match. I don't think AJ was the right thing, but so I'm going to bring this up now, and you maybe this whole respect thing. So after the match, AJ shakes his hand as a sign of respect. These are the heels.
Yes.
You have the 2 heels, Finn Balor, who is very much I'm a heel.
Finn is being Austin right now because
it's all about me. Okay, fine. He's Austin. At the end of a match, Austin would not shake the guy's hand at the end.
No, he'd give him the finger, hit him with the stunner, and then drink some beer.
Or he would offer him a beer,
and then
take a shot, and then stun it.
Yes.
So
the show of respect thing has gone way too far, especially on the WWE for this side. And this goes into kayfabe, this goes into a lot of other things, but the show of respect has just got to really tone back, guys, because not every match deserves it. Not every match is good enough to have earned it, and not everybody should be doing it. You know, you can't show of respect, shake a guy's hand after he kicked you in the balls. Like, you can't do that. Right. And that's what they're doing, I feel, is everybody has the promo of, well, I respect him, but I don't like him, and then we have the match, and then we shake hands.
So the next match, we have Charlotte and Serena Sadua, which I believe Charlotte was
I think she was a replacement.
Replacement for the other young lady who didn't make it. versus Bayley and Natalya. Now, would you say this match was better or worse than AJ versus Jeet?
This was worse. I gave this 2 stars.
Dave gave it 3.5.
Dave's insane. Because this Serena girl, I guess I believe that's her name. I didn't like her.
She pinned Natalya, which is the safest and best thing that you can do to get over India.
Also, I do want to comment on the fact that Charlotte was wearing the India flag colors, the traditional colors, and I wrote down, I'm not sure if that's kosher or not. I don't know if you caught that.
I did not.
Yes, they put her, and I believe they called it out, but she was in the colors of the Indian flag, and I'm like, that's India. India, not Indian. My apologies. I didn't think this was hot shit, honestly. Man, I broke it. Just trying so hard to not swear this show. I'm going to try and not be super negative, and I'm going to try and not swear so much, except for when we get to Raw, it's not going to last, guys.
Then we had Drew and Jinder have a reunion.
Yeah?
It is so hard to remember that Drew and Jinder and Heath were all together at one point in time.
3MB, baby. Woo!
All of them are so much bigger and built.
Yeah. Promo for Qatar Davi? Devere? Qatar Devere? I apologize. They do that during the middle of Rick's promo where he talks about how cool India is. It was fine. I'm interested. That was the person who didn't make it because I believe they said they had some travel family issues or something come up. Match 5, you had Drew and
Rinku and Sarav.
Thank you. They had an actual name that I can't remember.
So they've actually been on NXT before.
Yes, they have. We have seen them. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the Kali makeup?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm kind of interested in that because what I actually understand is that that's like really taboo over there. Is like Kali cults and stuff like that. And
they showed up. Yeah. They've showed up to NXT a couple times. They did nothing. They beat everybody up once or twice, and then apparently someone was like, "Wait, we got a better idea. Let's just pull them off."
Yeah. So they fought Jinder and the Bollywood Boys. Drew called them the 3-man band of destruction. I wrote down. Sorry, Heath. I gave it 3 stars. This was solid. They really let these 2 guys shine. It showed that these 2 guys were the guys that they really had their sights on when they did it. Sticking them with Drew was good. The rub was good. Like I said, I find it kind of awkward that they're in the Kali war paint, which I might be mistaken. I apologize. I'm just going off of Indiana Jones. And they weren't the heels.
Right.
They were the good guys with Drew.
But they were the heels on NXT before, so.
Okay. So that was the India show.
But Jinder is going to be more heel than...
Yeah, of course. Jinder's going to be way more heel. And this was Jinder's return, and it was kind of weird that he's just back.
Yeah.
He was just back for this show because even though he's a Canadian, he's of Indian descent.
Right.
So
hopefully we'll see more of him.
Yeah. So that was... I mean...
So, yeah.
It's not a go out of your way to watch this show. The guys that they picked and featured were fine. It just wasn't the best light, I think, for them. And this really just felt like a really overproduced house show.
Mm-hmm. So, for those keeping it home, points for Finn Balor, Dolph Ziggler, Dolph King Corbin, Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, Charlotte Flair, and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
It's Dolph, Corbin, and Shinsuke lost points there.
Which was very unfortunate because I thought that should have been the match that they won.
So then we go to Impact real super quick. Impact started off with a Rich Swann in the ring calling out, knowing that he's the champion and he's got a target on his back. Not that we've ever heard a target on a back promo before.
Oh, the champion.
Yeah, Moose came out and said he wants some. He said that Tommy Dreamer's 50th birthday is during the next pay-per-view. He deserves the shot. He's mentored me. He gets the shot. Moose said, I deserve the shot. Then Ken Shamrock came out with Sami Callihan. He said, no, we need the shot. And then some kid named Willie Mack said he deserves it. So basically a bunch of people need a shot. So then we have Brian Myers versus Eddie Edwards. Zack Ryder said, hey, let's be bros. And, because Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins bros in real life. And then when Brian Myers asks Matt Cardona to be bros, they're like, no, I got more important things to do, like take on former world champion Eddie Edwards. Then you had Rosemary versus Tennille Dashwood, a.k.a. Emelina. Then Matt Hardy came out saying, my boys, Big Money Matt. My boys are going to take the Impact Championships. Then Joe Daring versus Cousin Jake. Don't care. And then for your main event, you had Rich Swann with Tommy Dreamer, Willie Mack, and a mystery partner versus Chris Bay, Ken Shamrock, Moose, and Sami Callihan. And the mystery partner was Trey Miguel, which is the third member of Rascals who did not come to.
You can
NXT.
have them back. They're awful.
So,
you can have them back. Wait, did you say Shamrock and Callahan were on the same team?
They are a team now.
But
They are a team now.
Didn't they have? Oh, that's right. They had the parking lot cinematic brawl,
And
which ended with the other guys. One Callahan coming out and jacking them up, and then Callahan putting them down.
Right.
And then
Now they're bros.
has any of that actually been explained more than what I just did?
Yes.
And I'm just not watching it because Impact can suck it.
Yes, it's been detailed.
Oh, and to answer the question that somebody asked, because I guess they checked in real quick. I'm a federal employee now, so I have to shave my beard, so that's why everything's cut real short. So this week, last week you had Tommaso Ciampa. This week you're going to get Karrion Kross, and then next week you're going to get Babyface. You're going to get Brock Lesnar Babyface.
All right, so I got to fix some of those for later. All right, then next we move on to that is Impact and the Superstar Spectacular. Two okay shows. Not that we watch Impact.
Yeah, they were okay.
So let's talk.
Well, I didn't watch Impact, so I don't care.
Right.
Yeah. And I won't ever watch it again. I'm getting to the point that I'm going to have to apply that rule to Raw. They did murder someone.
They did.
And what they did this week
should have been murder.
Equally as offensive. I'm being murdered. So
all right.
What do we got up next? Do we have AEW up next?
We have AEW coming up next. And let me tell you, oh my gosh.
Really?